share screen. Let me mute that phone. Sorry.
No.
Doing transmission. Hey everyone, we're starting a few minutes late tonight, but we're back with another live broadcast of Indie Comics Relay. My name's Keith Gleason, and I'm here with my good friend, co-host Johnny C. How's it going, everybody? I take full responsibility for lateness.
That's completely your fault.
It's totally my fault. My laptop decided to run updates when I turned her on. She's an old gal. She's still serving me right though. It's totally what happens, right? What's that? And then I said, "That's what happens, right?" Yeah, Murphy's Law. And we're here with our special guest, Marni Joelen.
Hello,
Joelen.
Joelen.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
And so Johnny, you guys know each other, correct? Yes. So we first met C2E2. 2017, 16?
It was the last year that Buddy was there.
It was the year that I was deathly ill. So that was 2017.
So it was 2016 then.
That's how I remember it specifically. It's like the C2E2, I was deathly ill. That was like a kind of like a milestone moment. Part of the reason why is because I met so many wonderful creators that year specifically.
And we just not to discount any of them.
What's that?
We couldn't just stop touching your face. We all got you sick.
Yeah. Marni had COVID before it was a thing. Yeah. But I met Marni as well as my collaborator on my short and Cthulhu is hard to spell, Karastemo. So Buddy was doing a Creator Connect. Buddy Scalera, who some people out there might know Buddy. Yeah, he was doing a Creator Connection panel, and I was on the panel with one of my good buddies. I believe Jeff was on the panel as well.
Jeff and Josh were both on it, I think.
Yeah. I think, and I know Josh Dahl was in the audience too, I believe. Josh was there. But then we did the after party, the typical, creator after-con, get together after the convention to try to continue networking, and that's where we kind of all connected. And then, we saw each other at... So actually, I have to thank Marni because she helped me become a special guest for Spooky Empire last year as a horror comic creator.
That was definitely fun.
Yeah, and that was a really fun panel.
We were talking about that convention before you came in. That sounds like a lot of fun. It's just horror based, huh?
Yeah, it's a great show. It's just it was a fun show, fun experience. We may have lost Marni there.
Yeah, my camera died.
We can hear you.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. We can hear you though still, so that's good.
I'll be back in a minute, I promise. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries.
It's all right.
So I'll keep jibber jabbing in the meantime because I'm really good at that bullshit. So yeah, that's basically how I came to know Marni, and we were in the same circles,
So you see her where at C2E2 and
I met her at C2E2. We've since then been to several others. She's now upside down. Awesome. We've been to several other C2E2s together, as well as she helped facilitate me being a guest at Spooky Empire. So for that, I'm always grateful. Thank you.
I have not missed the C2E2 since we met, by the way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I got to get out to that show at some point. I've been meaning, but there's so many shows. It's like hard to pick and choose. I know that's a good one. What's that?
For a horror show, it's big, but in terms of like shows that you generally go to, it's on the smaller side.
Gotcha.
I think it's like, what do you think? Like 30,000 last year, maybe 40,000.
Keith, if I can give you a local kind of like reference to what Spooky Empire is like. Okay. For the Northeast crowd, imagine Rock and Shock turned up to 11.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's no bands there, though, right? They don't do bands or anything, Marni, right?
So I think last year was weird just because we were at the Tampa Bay Convention Center.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm aware, Alice Cooper was there.
Oh, wow.
And no, not Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper was 2 years ago. Last year was Dee Snider and... Nope, I think it was Alice Cooper last year. They usually do, on Saturday nights, there usually is a concert. Like a few years ago, we had Voltaire. Like literally just out in the middle of the lobby, just performing on a little minor platform.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
that sounds like fun. So let's get into your origins a little bit. When did you start writing?
I started writing when I was a kid, but I started writing really messed up shit when I was like 14.
So are you always been? So your stories tend to be basically horror based?
Yeah, most of the stuff that I write is horror. You know, like I do some sci-fi, I do some fantasy, but somebody has to die. That's just my nature.
That's awesome. I mean, I get it because I'm a horror fan. So it's funny, like though I'm that's one thing I'm not very good at writing, which is funny. But I love horror movies. So like, I don't know.
I'm
it's
super
interesting.
touchy about that stuff. Like, because I used to do crime scene cleanup. So.
Oh really?
You know,
as a job?
Yeah, like I'm talking like they take the corpse away and we take the brains away.
Oh wow! Oh my god!
Yeah. So like I get really judgy. They'll be like, "Oh, he's been dead for 2 weeks," and I'm like, "Bullshit." That corpse is more than 4 hours old.
I had my buddy who's kind of a weirdo too. He used to work for CSI in like Philadelphia or something, and he always told me, he's like, "Dude, if you ever need to hide a body, let me know because I can help you."
Yeah.
So bad.
I'm going to answer the question that just came through. Yes, I got in trouble constantly. I actually got suspended when I was a freshman for this is the first time I'm admitting this since I was in high school. I did a kill all the jocks and preps poem when I was a freshman, and that got me into some severe shit. They thought I was gonna I don't think they thought I was gonna shoot at the school, but they knew that I was like really pissed off at a lot of people. I've never admitted that before.
Oh but yeah, God! Did your parents get called in and all that fun stuff?
Oh yeah, like meeting with the guidance counselor, in school suspension 3 days, couldn't get the bus to school. Like it was
all because you were a creative mind. That's it.
Yep. You never can tell though that's like such a fine line, especially nowadays. You know, fine line
absolutely.
Being creative and being disturbed, I guess. But you know what's funny about horror, and I noticed this when I went because I used to go to the Fangoria cons all the time and Chiller and all that stuff. Horror fans are the chillest people in the world. Like
they really are.
They really are the coolest fans. Like everyone's like cool and like just laid back. And I think it's because like you get into these movies and you can let those impulses go, like playing a violent video game or
they're actually subjecting themselves to the most fucked up things they can think of. It's kind of like a release, because if you're not holding on to that stress all the time.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people hold on to that and just explode at random times.
Yeah, right. I agree.
I think just the commonality and the culture of it is that, when you have a frame of mind of an individual who can appreciate horror, who can appreciate something gruesome and vile and disturbing as an art form, then, you'd have to assume that the percentage of individuals who can let that go and not be highly offended by that would also have the like mind, and they'd most likely be laid back and relaxed enough to accept something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas somebody would be uptight and whatever.
I feel like in the 70s you would have been all set,
Oh my god! If I was writing in the 70s, it probably would have been a lot.
You're visionary.
Yeah, right. Huh?
I was just gonna say 70s horror is like some of the most brutal, like the slasher films of the 70s alone are far more graphic than some of the stuff we see nowadays.
Yeah.
Except for the mid 2000s, people started to have mental problems around that.
The worst film I ever saw, the only one that ever messed me up, was 1 Hour Photo, and it wasn't even horror.
Yeah,
I don't think it was.
That movie.
I was like 14 when that film came out. My mom demanded I watch it. Like
Part of the effect of that movie, though, is that Patch Adams was doing fucked up shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, like, I watched The Exorcist when I was 3. You know, like, I actively, like, terrorized my brother after we watched The Ring. We shared a room, and I would turn on the TV at night on the static channel and turn the volume up till it woke him up. But 1 Hour Photo fucked me up.
I think Exorcist should be required viewing in school anyway, though. So
Yeah, that's a good movie. So, so now, how did you make the leap from like, writing stuff that got you in trouble to in school to like actually wanting to like self-publish and make short stories and
it wasn't really that far of a leap. You know, I just started writing more until I started going to Spooky was my first one where I started connecting with other writers and creators.
What year was this?
I don't know if you can hear her. My cat is having a sneeze. She's losing her mind.
Tobacco from The Ring.
Yeah, no, that's Trixie sneezing her little mind out back there.
No, that was a sneeze?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she was
saying itty-bitty mind. I'm sorry. It completely derailed me.
Cat's got a touch of the Rona.
Oh my God. Sneezing like that for 3 or 4 months.
So it's just setting itself up for that horror movie moment when it's going to jump from the top of the frame of the camera onto you,
That's why it looks like I'm looking off to the side because I'm watching that shit. Yeah. I live alone. Nothing better be coming out of there.
So what I was saying was like, what year was that you actually decided to like go to your convention and like set up as like a writer at the show? Was that like?
The first time that I went to a show to network was in 2012, and that was my first Spooky. First time a couple years later, I started like kind of helping Alicia, the coordinator, out whenever she needed help with the panels for the writers and creators specifically.
Big shout out to Alicia and Boston Chuck. Love those two.
Oh no, I forgot to send them the link. They should be watching this. No, I'm awful. I'm terrible. Alicia's
send it to them on the side, Yeah,
I will. But it was 2015. I published my first short story. It's actually Henzo and the Drawn Cats, which is a retelling of the Japanese fable The Boy Who Drew Cats, and that's a standalone. It's just yes. Hey, why don't I do that? That would be a lot easier, wouldn't it?
Let me put Johnny up here, and then.
Yeah, so that's just a standalone short story.
Nice.
So it's just a standalone short story where the rat who is originally the villain ends up being the hero, which is why it's called Henzo. That's actually protector in Japanese. And then I think the next year, Nanowrimo, I was like, well, I've got one short story, but that's bullshit. So let's see if I can write 26. And obviously that didn't happen.
I've heard of Nanowrimo. It's like isn't it like a program for writers to like, you're supposed to write like a certain amount a day or something like that?
It stands for National Novel Writing Month. It's 50,000 words in 30 days.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what
it's global, and it's just November.
Okay.
That happens in. So
like Inktober for writing.
Yeah, Inktober for writing, except if you average it out, it's 1,337 words a day.
Well, with massive. Most writers, you're supposed to be kind of doing that anyway, right?
What's that?
Don't they say that with the writing, you're supposed to like, whether you're writing a story or not, you're supposed to like keep a journal and write like a little bit every day, that kind of thing, right?
Well, that's the sort of the idea, right? Yeah, it's building the habit. Like you're not supposed to have something published ready by December 1st. Like that's actually because of Nano. A lot of publishers actually shut down their submissions until February because they kept getting nano submissions that weren't edited at all, and they were just hot garbage. Just like there was no editing, you know. It was like it's a lot of free flow thought because you're just trying to get the words out because you can't edit a blank page.
Right.
So people were like, "I did it, 50,000 words." HarperCollins, here you have it.
Oh my god!
And it was, so that's
on some people. Like I would never turn in like my first draft of anything.
I would lose my mind.
I know, right?
Like thinking about that.
That's crazy. Johnny, you ever do NaNoWriMo? You've heard of it,
No,
right?
it's so ambitious that like in the way I kind of write is that I have to have like a passion or like a passion for the project itself. I can't force myself to write because then I just hit roadblocks. So I'd like to do something as ambitious as NaNoWriMo, but
I'm gonna make you do it this year.
Yeah. Hopefully, and maybe at some point I can kind of get over the mental hurdles and give it a shot, or at least do some form of it. But I'm just like the way I typically write is more focused on a story or a specific project.
Well, I'm one of the municipal liaisons for National Novel Writing Month, and so I'm making you do it this year.
Oh, really? Johnny,
Fair enough. I can try.
You want to write a novel, Johnny, or no? Or are you more?
It doesn't have to be a novel. It just has to be new words.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So actually, Marni gave me a choose your own adventure project that I've been trying.
Nobody's worked on that.
What's that?
Nobody's worked on that.
Nobody's worked on it.
Not a single.
I have
person.
on the side, but only when I've hit roadblocks and other projects, just because I have so many plates spinning. But I found that really difficult. Like I don't know. Like you'd think that writing like a novel format would be easier than like say having to be considerate and thoughtful in writing the comic format.
I disagree. It's just everybody starts off somewhere. Like, I mean, once I started writing comics, you know, like the flow got a lot easier, but also I'm limited by a standard page length, you know. With novels, yes, I can write however long I want, but also I have to give all of the description, you know. Like, and I also have to give all the subtleties that are going to happen because you're not going to see that hidden in the art.
Right.
Like, so you have to give out everything.
So to that effect, I mean, some of my scripts I do write with the artists reading it in mind, where I don't expect some aspects to end up on the page either. I kind of write some stuff just to give the artists some perspective and kind of put them in my mind's eye as best as I can without actually dictating, saying this has to be like this or this has to be like this. Sometimes I'd even write like, you know, reference this page of, so there's actually a panel in Sartana issue 1 extended edition where I had Joe Arnold reference a page from Sim City: A Dame to Kill For to kind of get an inspiration for it, and that's in the written script, you know.
Oh, awesome.
So I don't know if Rob's still here. He's the Doc Monster. 2 or 3 years ago, it was the first year that we met. So I think it was 2018. He wrote 100,000 words or so in comic format for NaNoWriMo.
Oh wow!
Like he would hit Rod. You're still here. Like comments what it is because like what you hit 50,000 on day 12 or something. Like 50,000 words. Absolutely nuts.
That's crazy.
He's a madman.
Well, I guess like
kudos to anybody who can do that, though. You know,
yeah,
like
no,
kudos
seriously.
to anybody who can write that intensively
Was it
and
day
is
12,
coherent and usable. You know.
he said, "Yup."
Yeah. There's a lot of information we just fed. I have no idea what that yup is for.
And he said, "Yeah, I about lost my mind."
Oh, that is the individual that did that.
You know Rob, Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Rob. Oh no, snap, Rob. What's good, my man? Oh crap! I didn't realize that was Rob.
Is Rob from the whole convention circle?
Yeah, I pulled him spooky as well.
Yeah, just Rob was a spooky guest. Awesome guy.
Yeah.
Great meeting him there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, 3 comics for over 100,000 words.
And then he says, "Hey, Johnny."
Hey, yeah, right on.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for watching, Rob. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
And Johnny Cimino's in here, huh?
Yeah, busting,
John's in here right
He's
now.
busting some chops.
busting my chops like usual.
Samito, I friggin' love Courtship of Eddie's Father. So it kind of ties back to Bill Bixby a little bit, right?
This is a funny thing I shared with John years ago as friends, like, you know, just saying that because we used to talk about the whole TV show, and I used to say how Bill Bixby was so nice on the show that I always wanted him to be my father, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was a little kid, and he's never forgotten that, and it always comes up in like weird ways, just like this.
That's so funny.
But anyways, to get back to so Marni, so you started writing the short stories.
Yep.
When did you decide you wanted to make a comic book?
When I met Alex, my artist.
Oh, okay. Did he used to do covers for you, or on your short stories, or?
Johnny, Alex, and I actually all met at the same time. We were in the panel for Buddy,
Oh,
and Alex walks in not actually intending to be part of the panel because he did it was a meet and greet, you know, just like you talk to one writer, you talk to one artist, and 3 minutes later, Buddy's grabbing you by the arm to, okay, here, you meet this guy now.
It's a messy speed dating format.
What
are you, writer? What are you, artist? You guys go talk. And then it's just like chaos around the room trying to pair people up.
Yeah, but Alex didn't do that. Alex showed up late.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked in with his giant portfolio, and he's just like, hey, I don't think, I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'm just trying to get some feedback on my portfolio from like other artists. What do you guys think? And he ended up walking out with every writer's card that went up to look at his portfolio. Mm-hmm. Like he had never worked on a full comic book before, like all he had were pencil sketches in his portfolio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but like it was because of his portfolio. I'm just like, shit, now I need this.
So when you made the, oh, cool. Yeah, I can bring it up a lot bigger on the
screen. Yeah, because you have the file. His favorite page to draw was page, let's see how would it count in the file, 1, 2, 3, page 4 in the file. With the elephant on it, that was his favorite one to draw.
Oh, that was with the elephant tricks.
Yeah, like that was his favorite one.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can bring it up here.
Okay.
Here we go. This is a really nice page. This one right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like my favorite part about it is like I was able to give the direction that I needed to, but he knew where I was going to go.
This one right here.
Yeah.
The style, hey Johnny, style reminds me of Jay Moore's a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
And the next page is like, I didn't tell him to lay out the page like this. This was his thought process.
Did he do the colors too?
What's that?
Did he do the colors as well?
Yeah, he did the colors too.
Nice. What's the gist of this story?
So it's about a circus cartel that sells cocaine, and and this school of kids that ends up staying out too late.
Okay.
And I don't want to give away too much more than that because I mean, like I already said.
Yeah, and I don't want to go through it too much to show people like.
This is also
right off the bat, though, I can tell you that the storytelling is very good on the art.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy with what he did.
Yeah, you can really tell.
It's got beautiful artwork. It's a great story.
Yeah,
I read it at 6:22
comic book
during downtime.
Yeah. The measure of a good comic book is if you take the words away and still be able to follow the story.
Yeah.
Like I think that honestly is more important than getting anatomy right or even perspectives because you can have a stylish look, to the comic and everything, where the perspectives and like the anatomy might be off. But as long as because a comic is a story, so you have to be able to follow it, and good artwork will always do that.
Who's a good example of that, Keith, is Sam Keith, the guy who did the Max and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah, this looks good. I definitely want to read it later.
Yeah, no, like he played with his angles to what he thought would work best. Like the only redirection that I had to give him was there was one scene where Antonio, the bearded lady, needed more hair.
One of my favorite characters, by the way.
So
Antonio, the
Johnny,
bearded lady, one of the best characters from the story.
Johnny, so you've read this. Would you recommend it to people?
I would recommend it to people. I think it's a great little story, and it's actually so. I don't know if you mentioned it, but it is an adaptation from a short story from another book.
Yes, it's an adaptation of a story from my book of short stories, which was the Nanowrimo challenge.
Let me make you. Dead Man Tell Tales, 22 short stories for corpses. Awesome. So did you write all 22?
Yeah, no, they're all mine. 3 of them that made it in were from former class assignments when I was in creative writing class, and the rest were written during Nano. Because I wanted to do it like ABCs of Death style, but also failed on making 4 stories, which is why it's just 22 stories.
Coked up clowns.
Yeah,
The rock and roll clown.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. So now, is this the
Marni?
only
Actually, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Keith. Marni, what made you decide to adapt the story into a comic format? What specifically about the story spoke to you that said, "I want to adapt this"?
Meeting Alex.
Oh, okay.
It was literally meeting Alex. I'm just like, shit. Now this has to happen.
Nice.
So, was it specifically that story, or was it like? Did you were just like you kind of wanted to work with him and you thought that fit best, or like
no, it was
that story?
Like I saw his style and I went, Sideshow has to have this style. Like it was the first one that I thought of, and I was just like, it's perfect for it.
It does feel kismet when you're reading it.
Yeah,
it melds very well.
Yeah.
So now, did you did you rewrite the story into like a comic book script for him, or did you?
I put it into a comic book strip, but the words are verbatim, straight from the story.
So you just kind of formatted it and then like let him kind of
lay out the magic of it.
What's that?
Here's the magic of it. My comic is 32 pages long. It tells the entire story. Like I didn't have to cut out anything. I didn't have to add anything. It perfectly ended on 32 pages.
Yeah, it's the perfect length.
Like you said, meant to be. That's like meant to be kind of stuff.
Yeah, because Alex started drawing when I started submitting him pages. So it was like, by the time I got to page 32, he'd already gotten to 15. There was no way of going back. if I had
You're in too deep.
We're in too deep.
Wow, that's awesome. How long did it take him to finish the whole issue?
So it took him a while, and that's my fault because I didn't want him working on part of the project that I couldn't pay him for. Because like one of the big things with me, and I told Johnny I was going to end up at this point, we were going to end up here. I don't like underpaying my artists. You know, even if they're friends, I double hate like underpaying them. But like you have a skill that I don't have, and it's a damn good skill. I don't want you giving me a discount. I don't want to be demanding $20 a page just to get it done. You know, so it took about from when we started the project to the end, I think it took about 1.5 years.
Okay.
But he can knock out a page a day if you ask him to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is that his primary job? Is he getting by on being an artist?
I think he has a part-time day job, but as far as I'm aware, like he draws all day. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I know a lot of people. They can they're both. You know, they have a day job and then they draw at night, or you know.
Yeah,
some people just make you get by just being an artist, you know, which is
I'm so jealous of those people, you know, like the people who have been able to like hone their craft so much and gotten out there and they just get to do it all day.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
You know? I come home and I'm freaking exhausted.
Yep.
And I'm saying this, like I quit my job 4 months ago. I quit my job. And I'm still exhausted all damn day.
What were you doing for work?
I was a barber.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not much use to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So now, is this the only comic you've done?
Yes, I do have a second comic coming out when I can pay my artist. That's actually going to be part of a bigger project that Johnny and I are working on for the Creators Aftercon Network. So we're collecting a bunch of 10-page comic stories, and mine is about mental illness and a guy who's going home from the bus that has schizophrenia.
Interesting.
Also,
Now, is that an original story, or is that based off another one of your short stories?
no, that one's an original story, and that's why I was saying earlier that I think that comics can be easier, and sometimes prose writing can be easier, because I had to cut out 6 frames of that one, and it was so hard trying to figure out how to like mash the other ones together just to get it into 10 pages.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, there's such different formats like to write for.
Yeah.
I think comics are harder because you have to have like kind of like you have to be able to get into someone else's shoes when you describe what the pages look like.
That's
and
true,
you gotta be able to like try to be like, well, do they understand this? And you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's a tougher skill. Whereas if you're just writing a novel, you don't have to worry about anyone else but yourself.
That's also part of the problem.
Yeah, definitely.
You really got to be on the same page with the other individual you're collaborating with. Otherwise, there's going to be so many hurdles. Like, I mean, not to knock working with Renatus on the pond, but having a little bit of a language barrier was a little difficult, because some references and some things I was writing in the script, in the long form, the 2-issue script, he wasn't getting. Like, he didn't get the tone and the nuance I was going for, and I think that may have been a cultural disconnect. So we kind of found like a little bit of an in between there. But
you get
you really got to be on the same page with the other person.
On slang.
I'm sorry. What was that?
When you're working with artists from different countries, you kind of have to toe the line on slang, because things that you would normally say, they're just like, that doesn't translate. I have no idea how to help you.
Right.
Yeah. My artist is in Indonesia. So far, we've been able to get by with no like barriers yet. So
Yeah.
So hopefully it continues that way.
So you're saying the story, the 10-page short that you're doing, that's going to be in the CACN project, mental health.
Yes.
What led you to that point? Because I've always been an advocate of discussing it, and I think it runs very rampantly through comics, and I think it defines a lot of creators as well.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, it's not addressed as much with, and we were talking about this the other day, like, it's not addressed as much with writers and with artists as it is with comedians, but a lot of us have some issues, and our stories are the way that we work it out. I personally have, mental illness, and the story had to get rewritten a couple times, especially the ending, because my artist Jimmy Kutsai, he wanted to stay true to the message, but also didn't feel comfortable portraying the message without having mental illness himself, if it wasn't done in a more address it to the public kind of way, which I'm fine with.
Respectful manner.
Yeah, and that was we had a very long conversation about that until I came up with a different ending, which works just the same,
Yeah.
Getting on the same page with your artist.
Yeah.
And either that or your descriptions and page, panel breakdowns would have to be like a little more like descriptive, I guess, if you were going to work with somebody that didn't have a mental illness, or couldn't understand anything.
We're doing it in the style of Junji Ito.
Now, who's that? I'm not.
I'll see if I can find you a link, but he's the Japanese horror comic guy.
Is that the guy that did
Uzumaki? Have you ever seen Uzumaki, Keith?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
that's the one that's
short series
more popular. It's like the spirals.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're actually adapting that into an animated series soon too. It's
really. Let me see if I can find
an Adult Swim.
Yeah, like if you type in Junji Ito, I'll type it in our chat so you can get the spelling. But you'll recognize his work. But we're going to do something similar to this. Jimmy's got more of a realism, or more like his art's more realistic,
Yeah,
so.
I've seen this guy's stuff before. Let me.
Yeah.
So wait, you're going to be working with Jimmy on that as well?
Yeah, I want Jimmy on this.
That's
I told him from the beginning. I'm just like, I don't think anybody else could pull it off the way I wanted to, because Jimmy and I are friends, and he knows where I'm coming from on it. So it's not going to
Yeah,
be like
it's the
spiralism,
Dark
or it is still realism. But
Yeah.
like a lot of like the demon masks, we're going to be working with that as well. But it's going to be a lot of like realistic.
That's some
Yeah,
of
I really
Jimmy's
like
art
it.
right there
Yeah.
to give you perspective.
But yeah, look at even like something like this is really cool. Yeah, very, very horror. I have seen this guy's work before. It's really cool.
Yeah. And it's gonna like, so the big reason why we had some back and forth on the story is because the story is called Attention Quentin, and it's about his surroundings trying to get his attention. So in the original ending, I had him hang himself in his apartment, and Jimmy was like, "I'm not comfortable drawing that because it's the cause of mental illness." And that's, again, like, that's fine, like, it's not something that he's comfortable with. We can still send the same message in a different way. And I'm not going to give away the new ending. But that's, like, that's kind of part of the discussion about mental illness, is that it's just kind of expected that you either pretend you don't have it, or you don't have any friends, or you kill yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are pretty much the three options that are generally seen, as stereotypes.
It's a fine line too, because you have to think, if you're writing, right, you're existing for the majority of your time writing in a fictionalized environment. Right. If you remove the writing from that, you can be mistaken for a crazy person. You know what I mean? So, well, like, there's a fine line when you got the person who, what's that?
I said, well, the good news is I am a crazy person.
Hey, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
I'm right where I need to be.
I used to do crime scene cleanup. I write about corpses all day. Take away
write what you know.
Yeah, you write what you know, right?
Write what you know, right?
Yeah, but there's still like a little side of you that still wants to like entertain, while you're telling the story. Is that what you were getting at, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, so it's like channeling a little bit of the mentality of your imagination and creativity into this format without essentially falling too deep. And if you're coming from a perspective of mental illness, falling too deep into the hole where you lose touch with the reality.
Yeah, and that's the problem specifically. Yes, mental illness in general, but very specifically schizophrenia. That like the falling out of reality is a main topic, and people don't want to talk about schizophrenia at all. It's they're like like they're schizoid, or they'll someone will say something crazy and go, oh haha, I'm sorry, I'm being a little schizo today, and they just kind of assume that they're all just batshit crazy 24/7. Which maybe inside, but a lot of schizophrenia is episodic. It's like you see reality, and then all of a sudden, a truck is driving the wrong way on the interstate coming at you. 3 blinks later, and you're fine again. That's right. A lot of it is the not being able to tell reality from your own mind.
Right, or even just losing, just venturing off of your mind.
Yeah. And
you're basically, your mind's existing in a completely different place, and then you snap out of it, and there goes reality, oh my God, reality again,
Yeah. Yeah. And then there comes the point, like the line where people start calling schizophrenics crazy is when they're clear and conscious, they're still talking about the things that are happening when they're not. Like the CIA is after me because I saw X, Y, and Z when I was at the post office the other day. It's like, okay, well, everyone else knows, and there's a part of your mind that knows they were never there. But when you start carrying it through all the time, that's when it starts breaking you down.
Being plagued by it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have the flip side, is that I feel like there's a lot of individual comic creators, especially the indie comic creators, they're so ego driven. It's like that is what their malignment might be, or that's kind of where their mental illness might kind of like fall in, is that they might be like, say, socially awkward, right? So finding the ability to create and do it that like boosts their ego, right? So
yeah, but it's our responsibility as writers to be accurate. It's our responsibility to be accurate. If you're going to talk about mental illness, if you're going to talk about anything, you've got to be accurate. There's a reason. Excuse me. There's a reason that none of my stories have guns in them.
Okay.
You know, I know nothing about guns. I actively am ignorant about guns. You know, I don't want to know,
Right.
and so I don't write about them.
That's cool, man. Well, and yeah, and then I guess just finding that balance of telling, you know, like, because if you just wrote about mental illness and you didn't have a story associated with it, it would just come off like, you know, like a medical pamphlet. You know what I mean? Like,
kind of preachy.
Right. So, like, I think that's where the writer side comes in, and you kind of have that way of merging both.
Yeah.
You know, and then not be pretentious about it, I guess.
Right.
Thing,
That's
right?
where it comes off like an ego-driven thing, right? Sometimes
Right.
it's a fine line that you know crosses in every way, you know. And you know where Marni's saying, like, you know, if you're not going to do your due diligence in the research on the topic and you know get yourself educated on it, then you don't have an authority, or unless you're living it, you wouldn't have the authority to write on it, right?
Right, because it's like, yes, a lot of the stuff that we write is fantasy. Yes, a lot of the stuff that we write has never happened and probably never will. But we still have to research it. You know, it still has to live in the land of plausibility, even if it is fiction.
Unless you write for The Simpsons, all that shit became real.
Oh my God. No, they're time travelers. They were always time travelers, and they're still lying to us.
Yeah. The writers from The Simpsons know stuff that we don't.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch the latest few seasons just to know what my 40s are gonna be like.
Yeah. The future's text.
Yeah, seriously.
There's a few collective prophets amongst them or something.
Right.
Sounds like an Eminem song. What does? I'd be curious to know what we said.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was a couple minutes ago. I'm unsure exactly what.
Yeah.
No one
It's
wants
true.
preachy comics.
No one wants, like, no, preachy comics are annoying. Like, we're not. The point of a story is
Or
not
movies,
to
too.
or a movie, yeah, is not to force a lesson down your throat. If you learn a lesson, cool. You know, like, that's, you know, taking something away from the story is always great, but having it shoved down your throat is always annoying as hell.
Oh yeah. Do you have a title for the comic yet?
For the short one, yeah, it's called Attention Quentin.
Attention, Quentin.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And when do you think you said you have the artist, but you don't know when it's going to come out, right?
No, because it's a major project that we're going to be working on. It's not just going to be my story, and that was part of the challenge. Is everybody gets a maximum of 10 pages.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's going to be more like an anthology.
Yes, it's going to be an anthology, and the original theme was connections. You know, because we all met through, like, we all connected through CACN. So, like, you could take the story in any direction you wanted, but it needed to have some sort of connection theme to it. So, again, I went the exact opposite way and made it about this connection.
Awesome.
As long as connection's in there, it works, though, you know?
Yeah, but so it's going to be a lot of rating, you know? Like, I know a lot of people are just not... I haven't even bothered Jeff about it lately, just because a lot of people just aren't creating right now. You know, it's a mass depression going on right now, and some people can write their way through it and draw their way through it, and some people can't. Yes, and that's okay. By the way, you don't have to be productive right now.
Right. Well, so, and I think that's part of it too. Is that people have a very strong work ethic. They're finding themselves not being able to produce or be creative. That's where, like, you know, depressions can set in, and that's where, you know, mental health can start to slip and things of that nature, is because you find yourself like, this is something I should be able to do. You know, this is something that normally would come second nature to me, and now it's not there, and then that's almost a scary feeling to some.
Oh, it's miserable. Like, so I was supposed to be working on a story for Ryan. I almost forgot. I almost called him Roger. His name's Ryan. I keep doing that. I've been doing that for months. But we're working on a 10 issue. And, like, I told him when the pandemic shut down Florida, I'm like, listen, I am having a hard time doing anything right now. You know, like, I have half of an issue board up, and I just keep staring at it and going, okay, where does this go? And then I go and, you know, stare at the TV for a couple hours.
You're right in the heart of it too, right? Isn't Florida one of the
Florida is a nightmare. Yeah, everyone's stupid.
Did the
people
governor
masking
shut
up
it
down
down
there?
yet?
It's a requirement to mask up. I don't go outside except to get groceries and to go to my doctor, so I have no
Yeah, I
idea
don't
what
blame
people are
you.
doing. Like
Huh.
they're not gonna stop.
Did I see that right? That Spooky's trying to happen this year?
Spooky canceled like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, they did cancel?
Yep, Spooky's done.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
maybe
that's
I was
the
quoting
reference to
Eminem a little
Eminem.
bit. I was paraphrasing Eminem.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I can imagine like up in here in Mass, it's kind of leveled off a little bit, so it's not as dangerous. But we're still wearing masks and stuff.
Well, when we opened up for phase 1, our governor spent 10 minutes mocking scientists for their predictions.
Yeah.
I watched it because we were supposed to go back to work, and we didn't open up with the first official opening, but he's just like, oh, they said we were going to have 1 million people sick. Look at our numbers, scientists. And I'm just like, their numbers are low because we all stayed inside, you absolute duck face.
Yeah.
And then what happened? He literally mocked the scientists. Everyone went, ha ha, stupid scientists. And then we became the new epicenter. That's it.
Yeah, it's weird how people like the mask thing. I don't get that. It's like, I mean, that's like, I don't know, people not wearing masks. I don't get that one at all.
Oh, there's a video on YouTube where it's Palm Beach County, Florida, I think it is. There was this huge court in session kind of thing. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but all of these people that were against masks were going up to the commissioner's board of the county, talking about how they were stomping on their freedom, and how they were covering up God's majestic breathing system by wearing a mask. And some of these people were security guards, and some of these people were old as hell, and they're all none of them wearing masks. And this millennial, and I am a millennial, but she's a little bit younger than me, was jabbing her finger at the camera or at the people, and she's like, I'm gonna put you under citizen's arrest, and I'm gonna put you under citizen's arrest, and I'm gonna put you under citizen's arrest for It was, yeah, exactly, Florida man,
Florida man, yeah.
Yeah.
Chaos ensues.
It really is, and everyone's just being obviously not everyone, but enough everyone that we're all fucked. Nobody wants to do it, and now they're talking about schools reopening on time.
Yeah, that's going on up here too.
My county,
me and my wife went to the gym yesterday. The gym just reopened, and it laid out this whole.
Yeah, I've seen some layouts.
Yeah, they have curtains in between all the equipment and everything. It's so funny. We pull up in the parking lot, and a guy with a Florida plates on his car gets out, just walks in, no mask on, nothing. And I'm like, you gotta be shitting me, And then they made him come out and get his mask and go back in, thank God, But still, it was just you're already feeling iffy about going to places, and then they do that,
Have you seen the Freedom to Breathe cards?
Freedom to Breathe cards? No, I haven't seen that.
Bullshit. They're bullshit. So basically, it's this little laminated card that they wrote and also misspelled on about the what is the Disabilities Act? ADA?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm not too sure.
I can't remember.
ADA? No, it is ADA. It is ADA.
So what they did,
ADA.
They put the ADA's official phone number on these cards and said, I'm allowed to be in here without a mask because I have a breathing condition, and you're not allowed to ask me what it is, and also you're not allowed to tell me to leave. But they're fake cards. They could get in shit with the ADA for having these cards, and these cards are built to bully 16-year-old cashiers at the grocery store who are going to cry over, somebody screaming at them. They're trying to intimidate people into not making them wear masks. But these are the same people that, without COVID, will put a 15-year-old cashier in tears for a 3-month-old expired coupon. These are the.
I believe it. Yeah, I've worked in retail. I could tell you some fun stories, but some people.
Yeah, I saw Caitlin wrote this. I didn't know California surpassed New York.
That's crazy.
Oh wow, yeah, because New York is leveled off.
Thanks for watching, Caitlin.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
definitely. Thanks for joining us. Amy said it's ADA.
Yeah.
It is ADA.
All right, so like with me with COVID, and I've talked to Johnny about this in past shows. It's like when it started happening, my work didn't change. Like I've been getting up and working my normal job like every day. So my life has kind of stayed the same. The only thing that's gotten weird is on the weekends when you can't do much. Besides, you can't really go anywhere. But yeah, like I haven't had that that drive to not work or anything, I guess, or create, I should say, that drive, because I feel like my normal week is still like my normal week. You know what I mean? So it's like so I haven't felt that, but I can definitely understand it. Definitely,
Yeah, I'm trying to do a new job now so that like I'm trying to jump into copywriting. I don't want to go back to the barbershop so that I can work on writing for other people and then immediately jump into writing for myself.
Yeah, that's good. That's actually a good thing. And then you could kind of like, if there's some downtime, like slip your own story in there for an hour or two,
Like I'll be able to make my own schedule and write what I want to write, which it'll just be so much easier. And I'm hoping that it's back to normalcy.
What about like underwriting too? Isn't that like a thing that you could do? Like,
what do you mean by underwriting?
I think it's like writing. My friend used to do it, who's a novelist. It's like writing like the boring stuff you see on the back of like contracts and things like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing copywriting, which is more of the marketing side of that for businesses.
Gotcha. So it's probably a little more exciting than underwriting.
Yeah, you take up ghostwriting too.
Yeah,
a buddy of mine does some ghostwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really bad at doing long stretch mimicking somebody else's style, which is why I haven't looked into that. I can mimic somebody's like business brand voice, but like creating an entire short story or novel in somebody else's voice is so hard for me to do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But just to touch off, mimicking somebody's like brand voice. I can testify that you are very good at that because in Chicago, with all four of us yahoos behind the table, you were able to pitch every single one of our books, like just like that, like it was us.
It took me a while, though, man.
You were awesome at it.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. So we're getting almost up to the hour mark. So what I want to do is I want to share Marni's website here a little bit.
Oh yeah, let's share that piece of crap.
No, are you kidding me?
No, I had to change it off of Wix. I'm using WordPress now, and I hate the layout. Look at this crap.
So yeah, I've never used WordPress. It seems complicated to me.
It's not complicated. It's so bad.
It's just hard to work with.
I don't want that stupid share this sign there. I don't care if you share that these are the links to my stories on Twitter or Facebook.
This right here?
No. I'm trying to point at my computer like you can see me. Underneath
this is the free version of WordPress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we use that for movie preview show. It's a nightmare.
Oh, right here. Okay.
Yeah, I hate that, and it won't let me get rid of it.
It almost feels like it should be. There should be stuff like right here, like almost like a blog,
Yeah.
And I don't do blogs. Like I'm so bad with social media, Like look at the last time I sent something on Twitter. It was during season.
Well, it's all right. Twitter's a trash fire anyway.
I haven't been on Facebook in like ages. Like today's the first day I posted something in 3 weeks. Like I've been so checked out of social media.
Yeah, like I lurk sometimes, but I've just been out of that too. And it's not good for a writer that's not, going to shows or anything.
Yeah.
Now, like I noticed, you don't have like a store section. Is there like places people can go to get your work?
Yeah, if you click on the links for the stories, they have direct links.
Oh, okay. So like if we go to Sideshow.
Yeah, it'll send you.
Okay, you get it from Indie Planet. Okay, got it. That's cool. Yeah, that's a good place. They do a lot of independent books.
Yeah, a couple of them are free on there. Yeah, so Vienna Sausages is a straight download.
Okay, you can get this at Amazon. Which one?
Vienna Sausages is a straight
Oh,
download.
cool. Yeah, so if someone wants to just check out your writing, they could.
Yeah,
they could
and so that
download
one was actually a challenge for my class. That was the first creative writing assignment that I did for this teacher. Because, you know, like the cliche creative writing teacher is like, I don't want any themes, or like, I don't want any like genre writing. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see cannibals. I don't want to see that. And I said, you don't want to see cannibals, huh? And he was like, yeah, no, they're always done poorly, and they're always cliche, and they're always constantly just, everyone tries to do it, and it's always bad. So I went, all right, bitch, let's go. And so Vienna Sausages is like an interview style story about a cannibal living in America, trying to get used to people food, but all he can eat is Vienna sausages and pork and all that.
Oh, I like that.
And we submitted all of our assignments online, you know, before the next class, so that people could review and we could actually have a conversation during the class. And my teacher walks in, looks me dead in the eye, and goes, "Fuck you," because he had been playing with his baby daughter earlier in the day and was chewing on her toes. And while he was chewing on her toes, he remembered Vienna sausages and almost puked on her. So
that's amazing.
That's a rousing endorsement for that story for horror fans, there.
That's why I put it in Dead Man, because I'm just like that was the first response was "fuck you."
That's amazing.
That's great.
So what's this choose your own venture? All zombies go to heaven.
Yeah, so that was started on my other website when I was using Wix, just because, you know, I was able to do the polls easier. But like literally click week 1, so I can show you the bottom of it.
Okay. So
what was happening is, like, I would give you part of the story. It's all in second person, and at the bottom, you know, you have the 3 options. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
And when I was working on it, it was a poll whenever that week went up, and then you could actually vote on it. And then whatever had the highest amount of votes, that was what I was writing for the next week.
That's very cool.
And the reason that stopped.
That's a great idea, actually. I never.
Keep your audience engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had kept going, but like the votes just weren't coming in. Like, I guess it's like 6, like week 5 or 6. I think I got 1 vote. You know, and I think a lot of it had to do with I had to take like a week break, and I don't do social media a lot, so there wasn't a lot of people seeing it. You know, and once I wasn't
there's probably forums where people talk about choose your own adventure, or those old.
Well, that's what Johnny and I try to work on. Like that project he was saying at the beginning, like that's a choose your own adventure, but also 10 people are writing it. And what's happening is like they'll create their part of the choose your own adventure, and then the options will go out to different authors. And then they'll get everything that's happened plus only their option, and then they have to continue the story, add options. It goes off to other writers.
Oh, that's cool.
I do like the collaborative effort of that format there too, because it's not solely on you. You're just taking the baton, doing your part, and then passing it off. You know?
Yeah, like you don't have to come up with everything. But I'm also like, nobody's working on it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm chipping away a little bit at a time, but it's like.
I understand though. You know, like
I think if you built up your social media, I think you totally could get that going.
I'm so bad at it. You know, like I'll post something. I'll post like 3 days in a row, and then go, and I'm done. I'll see you in about 1.5 years, guys.
Yeah.
And I'll post when I'm going to shows, but I literally, what was it, C2E2, I wrote, hey, see you at C2E2 this weekend. I think it was 12 hours away. I think I landed in Chicago and then wrote, see you at C2E2.
Yeah. It's for real. Yeah. I think you did.
It kind of sucks, though, because, like, it's such an integral part of, like, you know, being a creator now is having social media, you know.
If I had more money, I would pay somebody to do my social media.
Right, me too. Like, I hate it, you know.
So, I mean, I almost didn't have to lean on social media so much because I was doing so much traveling and going places. Right. And now that that's been ripped away from me, it's just like I have to do like social media, and it's just like it becomes too much of a chore. Right.
And that's really what it is, I feel like. It's really, especially like, you know, like when you're still building up, it is such a chore to do because you're like, nobody cares. Nobody's looking at this. I just want to write. Why does it matter who's reading it? And then you're just like, oh, sales. That's why it matters.
So someone, she said she liked the painted cover. What is she talking about?
Oh, it might have been for Sideshow.
Oh, maybe for Dead Man Tell Tales, maybe.
This one right there?
I like that cover too, actually. And then,
actually, it has a back cover done by somebody else. So that one was done by Toby. Toby Johansson did the front cover. And then my friend Alan Blair did the back. It's a little skeleton reading
I like
book.
that one. This one looks like a slasher
story. So that was supposed to be a movie. The director now sells hot sauce, but that's beside the point.
Is it that guy from King of Kong?
Yeah. Billy Mitchell?
Right. Billy Mitchell, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I use it for
If I ever see that guy, sorry, don't mean to interrupt. If I ever see that guy, punch in the face immediately. Go to jail. I don't care. I got a fucking lawyer that will fucking get me out of that shit. Fuck that guy. That's all I have to say about that.
That guy's forever goes with hot sauce with me now. Like that's all I think about.
Yeah.
Whenever hot sauce is brought up.
Besmirches the name of hot sauce.
Yep. Did you ever try his hot sauce, Johnny?
No, he's an asshole. I don't want to give him any money. Fuck him for trying to crush that other guy's dreams. Fuck that guy.
So this was supposed to be a movie, and then you just kind of rewrote it as a book?
No, because I don't own the rights to the characters. So I keep it up here. That was the movie poster. I still have an IMDb credit.
Cool.
So what happened was I think it was my first time trying to freelance write, and they contacted me on one of the forums that I had set up, and they're like, so we need a script written because investors need to see the script before they'll invest. And I said, cool. When do you need it by? They said October 1st, and I said, cool. That's in 10 days. So.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, no, but I did it. I gave them a 72-minute full film in 10 days, and it's a first draft, and I never went back to edit it just because if we were going on with the project and I wasn't getting paid, it wasn't a passion project of mine, But it's an evangelical horror slasher film. You're on the money there. It is a slasher.
Nice. Yeah, usually a lot of the slasher posters look similar in that vein. I love slasher movies, so
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, and all right, so that looks good. So was there anything else that you wanted to let people know about? I'll put links in the description for the video for Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff into your website when I put the video up on the page tomorrow.
They'll go to the website and realize it hasn't been updated in 8 months.
Yeah, well, that's all right. At least it's still active,
Yeah, well, I repaid the website costs 3 days before C2E2.
Oh wow, okay.
I was like, shit, I have to get this done. C2E2.
And then, so yeah, we'll start wrapping it up. But Johnny, you said you wanted to share something tonight, correct?
Yeah. So what I was going to say is maybe we should just poll the audience too, real quick, if there's any questions for Marni, because I don't want to take the spotlight off of her or anything.
Questions. Let us know.
If the question is, am I crazy? The answer is yes.
I think we're all a little crazy, but anyways.
But I guess while we wait for questions, I just wanted to kind of point out that we're also competing with a major show right now and their online virtual thing, and that's Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con is this week. And so this whole time I've had my placard in front of me like I was on a panel.
Nice.
I should have grabbed
mine. This is one of my actual placards from one of my panels at San Diego Comic-Con.
Awesome.
This is what they put in front of everybody. If you ever want to know what on the back of it was, it says, "Welcome to Comic-Con. Please be aware that many members of your audience may be under 18 years of age. Thank you very much for participating in Comic-Con International San Diego." And then it just talks about being a nonprofit and yada yada and this and that. But they're like, "Hey, you don't swear because there's kids out there."
And we know.
I don't understand. How are they a non-profit? That one I don't get.
I don't know, man, but they rake in that cash. Let me tell you what.
Yeah, I know. It's like how
are they? A lot of it too, though.
If they're a non-profit, wouldn't it be free to get in?
Well, so one of the things they're doing this year is that they're holding it all online, and they've given all of us who typically have a booth in San Diego a virtual booth. So well, I don't know. Are you able to share the screen? I can actually show people where to go to find me in the virtual San Diego Comic-Con floor.
Yeah, let me see.
I don't think it's Johnny's mouth we have to worry about, Amy.
Watch this sweet mouth of mine.
Let me share this.
Yeah, I've said enough swear words in the last hour to get this.
Wait, hold on. I can go share screen. Share screen, right? Select window.
Yeah, hit share screen. Maybe it lets me give you control. Okay, wait. Here we go. There we go.
Oh,
man, that is a beauty.
That's wonderful. Why is it only showing that little piece?
I really do.
It's showing my. It's super zoomed in.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? It was my bird.
Hold on, let me try this a different way.
My bird was just in the screen. The fire alarm.
And share screen, and then I'm gonna go entire screen. There we go. Oh, wow. Bingo. All right.
Yes, I do.
Marni's great for some very colorful words. She stepped right off of a Navy ship.
Okay, so no, my dad was Navy, and that was what I would say when I was growing up, because I'd be like, God damn it, and my dad would go, Jesus fucking Christ, stop saying those fucking swear words. And I would say my dad was Navy, or my dad was a sailor, I swear like one, and he would say, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so sick of your goddamn shit.
It's like we're in like 6 levels of Inception here.
Yes.
Yeah, right? This is Tenet.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop over here. I don't know if you guys see this.
Yes.
Can you see the Comic-Con site?
How does this virtual table thing work?
So if you guys can see the site, I hope you can at least. Yep, you can. All right. So what you would do is you go to the comiccon.org site, right?
Okay.
And all your stuff's right over here. So programming. Today there was a lot of really great, informative comic panels that were happening today, and they're all still available and hosted right on the page. So if you ever wanted to go out to the show, there's a lot of educational stuff there too. You just have to go under the programming tab here and then, click on the appropriate day. Now, littered amongst that are also the big panels, like today I watched the panel for New Mutants, which looks awesome, and the panel for The Boys Season 2. But in between that, they had some really informative panels on how to write a very strong female character, or writing for the new modern age during the coronavirus, or things like that. So there's some really cool panels in between.
That's cool. And you can get them all right there on the site.
Right here on programming. Now, you can go to the exhibit hall. So this is pretty much just like if you were to look at a map of the show. And I've actually already pre-opened it here on this panel, this page here. So this is what the map would be like if you were at the show, actually attending it. And our booth is right over here, Dial R Studios. We're 2103. So you could essentially go to any booth here and check it out. And then if you click on it, so if you click on Dial R, that brings up the company page. And you can check out, comics or graphic novels or original art. Or you can, view the company's website. So, for example, then you can flip through their products. So right here are some prints from my good friend Chris Mays. He's a booth compatriot. There's the Dial R logo. And then, you can click on it and you can see some of Chris's stuff if this will load. I don't know if it'll load. Chris's cap here. I have it on my fridge. It's pretty awesome.
Nice. Let me see.
But so you can actually, and then you just go more information and that'll pop that up.
That's
Johnny,
awesome.
do you have the virtual cafe?
I wish I did. No, so if I can navigate to the buttons disappeared on me where you can see it says 13, but you can actually flip through and look at all the different products, and included in the products is a bundle pack of Surrounded by Death 1, Surrounded by Death 2 preview edition with a cover by Jesse Lumberg, and then a bag of coffee. So you can get that bundle pack all together through this site alone.
Oh, cool.
That's awesome.
And that's where you find it. So
I'm
we
glad
also
they
have
still
Jim
do
Clark, who he's another booth mate of mine.
Yeah.
So, and he does the Technicolor Almanac, Genius J's, and this is a collection of shorts from that.
Okay. That's cool.
Our booth next door to us normally is Raph and Mike Wellman, and they do Guns Blazing.
Were
So
they
if
at
you go
St.
to the
Stephen's today?
adjacent booth over, you can find those guys, and they have some really cool comics. Guns Blazing. They actually kind of they illustrated themselves into the book. So that's Mike.
Oh, cool.
That's Raph.
Nice. That's fun.
It's pretty cool. And then if you go a little bit further down into small press, you can actually find both Cthulhu books.
Nice.
So not only do they have the original one, so sold out. That was actually from Chicago there, where I have a tag that says sold out.
And you still have that tag on there?
Yeah, this was the week we launched the second book's Kickstarter. I
remember.
sold out of volume 1 at the show, and
You
then
sold
volume
shit
2
out of
launched that week, and then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Is he gonna make more so you can have more?
I don't know. So he originally was going to do a volume 3, but that got canceled after all the shit hit the fan. So I was thinking about what my third story would be today. Hopefully, if he gets a good response, if people buy the book, he might be willing and up to doing another version of it.
Okay.
So yeah, if people have a chance, go support some of the independent creators. They're exhibiting at Comic-Con this week, even though we can't all be in San Diego exhibiting for people. Anybody who, even if you've ever wanted to go check out San Diego, you can kind of do it virtually online right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what's your booth number if people go looking
Booth number is 2103.
2103. So 2103 on the San Diego Comic-Con website, and look for Johnny. Get his stuff, buy his stuff, and support Marni too. Go to our website. We'll have
Please go to Marni's site.
And you
Please
can buy
read
it by
Sideshow.
clicking on the story, and then you can get it you can get Sideshow from like Indie Planet, and then her books from Amazon, and both reputable places to get them. Before we go, did you guys have anything else that you wanted to promote?
Let Marni promote whatever Marni's got.
It looks like there's a couple questions here too.
Oh yeah, let's get to the questions real quick.
Let me see.
I don't think there's a single. Well, no. Okay, so that I lied already. There's like maybe 3 stories that I've written without swear words in it.
Okay. Right, what you know.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a story that I wrote from the view of a 10-year-old girl who has no idea that her father's trying to kill her. And I don't think I swear in that one, and I don't swear in Henzo.
Okay, that's
I think there's
cool.
another one.
For Johnny, Caitlin said she'll buy more coffee in the second issue of Surrounded by Death.
Oh, cool! Thank you for the support, Caitlin. We appreciate that.
You ain't alone. My
Caitlin's a
dad
very
is a Navy
Great fan.
veteran.
She always comes by the booth every year.
Nice.
Awesome. I got to get out to San Diego one of these years. I keep telling you every year, we got to get out of
Actually, so Keith,
Yeah.
I put in a word with God to have a pandemic to cancel this year, so that way you can go next year.
Okay, perfect. All right, and then before we go, just my Indiegogo is still active, so if anyone wants to support that, it's Mighty Mascots.
I highly recommend it.
Thanks. And all right, yeah. So I guess that's it for this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. I don't know who our guest will be at the moment, but we'll figure it out in the next 2 weeks.
I know who our guests are going to be.
Oh, okay.
Global Comics.
Nice. All right. Yeah.
We have them scheduled for the very next show.
Okay, and those are the guys that are doing another version of Comixology for independent comics.
Yes,
Right.
Marni, do you remember?
Yes, because we did that bullshit drawing thing with them. I still have their phone numbers. I'm gonna text them and be like, "You motherfuckers!"
These guys picked up the bar tab and hung out and drank with us all night long. They were really fun, and they have a really awesome new digital platform. As a matter of fact, one of the exclusive items on my San Diego virtual shop is a link to the Pond in Color that goes right to their page.
Nice.
So
Oh,
they're
cool.
actually represented on my virtual booth at San Diego Comic-Con.
I didn't know if anybody had hooked up with them yet. I just knew that they insisted that I had to draw, and then didn't make other people draw.
I got both issues of Starts on Surrounded by Death and The Pond up on there right so far. It's a lot of fun to be able to, create panels of your own thing. But, tune in 2 weeks. You guys will be able to have a nice, big, full demo of the platform. It's really
that'd be
cool.
great.
I'm gonna come by and I'm gonna harass them.
Definitely
Yeah,
do.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us once again. And we'll see you guys. I'll be back with a comic review next week, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks with those guys. So, till
Thank you
then,
all for watching. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you for
checking
joining us.
Publishing
Bye,
Pete.
guys.
Thank you for popping in.